And at the end of the day, Joe Biden looks like the caricature that conservative media has been painting. And there were no clips tonight, right? This was, you saw it before your eyes. Look, I don't want to just tell you what I think here, Tom. I've been talking to a lot of leaders in the Democratic Party, electeds, coalition leaders. There's a full-on panic about this performance.
That's pretend journalist and establishment mouthpiece Chuck Todd reluctantly admitting that conservatives were right about Joe Biden this whole time and Democrats are now in a panic. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like the debate didn't go too well for Joe Biden or the left, who've been telling us for years that Sleepy Joe is as sharp as a tack behind the scenes, and anything suggesting otherwise is just a cheap fake or due to his lifelong stutter that he just developed 5 seconds ago.
There will be stories of a lot of concern about the performance tonight. And I think when
you say conversations happening, what do you mean?
I think people are talking, I think the conversations range from whether he should be in this race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him. I mean, he has a cold that came out. Our own Kelly O'Donnell reported that a few minutes in, but exactly what
Negative
you articulated.
COVID test, but a cold.
Right. So those things were, I mean, the reason reporters were reporting on the cold was because of what you articulated. I mean, the voice was very, very soft. It wasn't the Joe Biden performance of the State of the Union. It wasn't seizing a moment to get on the offensive on immigration. It wasn't Joe Biden on the offensive on January 6th. It wasn't Joe Biden on the offensive on abortion, his two, shining issues. It was exactly what Chris Hayes predicted. It was Trump moderating not just tonally, but sounding less crazy as he lied as often as he breathed. The debate moderators did not fact check one thing, but they did give Joe Biden time to fact check, and he didn't do much of that either. It is not our job to tell people what to see and hear, but I think what I heard from a Biden aide is we can't necessarily spin too much what people did see and hear.
It's true there may be no way to spin Biden's performance last night, but that won't stop MSNBC from trying to blame it on his cold and baselessly accusing Trump of lying during the whole thing. I mean, you've got to remind yourself that these are the same people who repeatedly called the DOJ report about Biden's mental health gratuitous and politically motivated. They're the same people who literally said, F you and go screw yourself if you think Biden has any sort of cognitive decline.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation, remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused. Had trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war. But he's totally focused. He's very sharp. They say he's sharp in meetings and so on. Very lucid mode, very well informed. Biden is stately and he comes with gravitas. Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history of holding people's physical characteristics against them. Okay, you can ask African Americans.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit, and there's a lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right.
More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses, diagnosing politicians.
You have Wall Street Journal running a horribly sourced piece saying that Biden is unfit.
Dubious Wall Street Journal report about the president's acuity.
Shoddy story by the Wall Street Journal questioning Biden's mental fitness.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this.
I usually like to keep it light on the show and tease or mock people we disagree with. But it's hard to do that when some of them repeatedly behave like lying scum. And not just any lying scum, but lying scum that seems to genuinely hate you in your way of life. I mean, there really seems to be some sort of deep-seated animosity with these people. It doesn't appear to just be about a paycheck. It's dehumanizing opposition and gleefully reporting on any misfortune they have. We saw it during COVID, we saw it during Trump's legal battles, we saw it with Kyle Rittenhouse, we saw it with the Covington kids, and we saw it with concerned parents in schools pushing back on this agenda. The list goes on and on and on. They don't just want to beat you, they want to demoralize you and ruin your life, and they think it's funny. But on the bright side, they're all morons who are terrible at their jobs and are becoming less and less relevant by the day. But let me know what you think. Are these journalists opportunistic morons or malicious psychopaths? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!